Okay, so I'm talking to Claude, right? Just a normal chat, not Claude Code. Is it recording?
Yeah.
And I go, are you familiar with Pokemon Go and the effect that it had when it came out and all that stuff? Um, Everyone had a shared goal. And then it goes like, yeah, completely. First stretch, July 2016, is something that hasn't been replicated since.
Mm-hmm.
You could walk through a park at night, find clusters of strangers gathered around a lure who would never normally exchange a word. Shared goals dissolving the labels. Okay. I'm just marking these down. Shared goals dissolving the labels. Classic social psychology on it. Showing that when you have groups that move towards something none of them can reach alone, the in and out group lines fade fast. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon Go accidentally engineered that at city scale. That's what's really cool. With stakes that were charmingly low. Nobody was competing for resources in a way that bred resentment. You mostly wanted other people around.
You know, it was another game that kind of did that for a little
Because
bit.
lures, you mostly wanted other people around because lures and raids were better with a crowd. Is that how the mechanics work?
Yeah. You know what other another game that kind of did that a little bit? Among Us.
How so?
Because Among Us was during COVID, right? When it blew up.
Yeah.
And that brought people online together a lot. Because the more people you had in that, the more fun it was.
Yeah, true. The more people that were in it, the incentive structure was aligned so that the more people in it, the more fun you had.
It's something that's very easy that everyone can do.
That are low stakes. So you're not competing for fucking money or food or whatever. Because there's no resentment in, oh, this guy got a really cool Pokemon.
Right. It's like a variation off of something popular already. Like Among Us is based off of Mafia, right? So it's something that people like to already do together, but it's just easier to access. Same with Pokemon Go, right? People like catching Pokemon and doing that, but it's not easier to access, but you can go outside and people are like right there doing it. You know what I mean?
And the mechanics line up so that people are incentivized to be close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That magic was partially structural, partially circumstantial. Northern Hemisphere summer. A whole generation of late 20s adults getting hit with childhood nostalgia at the same moment. Summer of 2016 is known as like, oh, that was a crazy thing. The social features actually got worse for a stretch, and the newness wore off. So I'm like, I also feel like it hasn't been recreated since then. I want to do that. I understand it required an aligning of the stars. I don't think it's necessary to get everything right. I think it's possible to get different things right to align that even Pokemon Go didn't get. My primary issue with the game was that it was not fun. Like after I caught a couple of Pokemon, the gameplay loop just got boring to me. I know there's people out there still to this day who play it and enjoy the game, but when I heard augmented reality Pokemon in real life, I thought it was gonna be like I'd be able to battle my friends and form teams and do all that kind of stuff.
That's it. It's like Among Us, real life Mafia. You can do these things in real life.
Yeah, but you couldn't in the game.
Well, that's the preface they gave, right?
Yeah, but it had none of that stuff.
Because think about it for us.
I want to create the kind of gaming platform.
Pokemon Go did not initially was not gonna be popular because everyone was playing it. Initially, the reason it exploded in the beginning was because you could you could do it in real life. You know what I mean? Among Us is like you can do Mafia in real life.
No.
Well, like
Mafia is the real life version.
No, well in Mafia you just point. This is like you go around and you actually do the killing. You know what I mean? Like you know how you play Mafia, right? It's like everyone like close your eyes, point to who you want to kill. This is like you do that, but like you play it. You know what I mean?
I'm not thinking about the mechanics. My brother never played a Pokemon game in his life. He never played a Nintendo game, but he was playing Pokemon Go.
That's because other people were playing it.
Exactly.
Well, why did people start playing Among Us? It's because everyone was playing it.
That's why most people did.
Yeah. So, and why do people start playing it? It's because they can do something that they already enjoy doing, but they can do it accessibly in real life that's like fun.
Look, I think that's a perspective to look at it from. But finding one pattern. Look, these games are super complicated in their like psychology.
Yeah.
Looking at one mechanism and saying, oh, there's a pattern here. Among Us worked, Pokemon Go worked.
No, because
what do they have in common? And then you're looking at one pathway they have in common.
That's just
and then going like, okay, using that to bank off that and go, okay, so we should replicate something like that.
No.
Maybe it might be true that we need to do something like that. It just doesn't click for me like that.
That's just something to keep in the noggin.
The shallow loop being a bug. The effective love happened despite the game giving people almost no tools for it. At launch, Pogo, and it just calls it Pogo from here on out. Had no chat, no friend system, no trading, no way to actually battle or do anything with the person standing next to you. All that came years later. The connection happened in the gaps. And part of why it could happen is that game was so undemanding and it receded into the background. People looked up from their phones because the loop didn't need their full attention. The game was an excuse to be somewhere together. The people were the actual experience. Deep mechanics is what makes a game fun in the conventional sense. But they're also what pull attention into the screen, and they tend to manufacture in and out groups. True. That's going to be a tough thing to balance, because Pokemon is partially fun because there's this idea of in and out groups, but you don't want it to go too far.
What do you mean?
Like, you have rivals. It's you versus the fucking Final Four or whatever. The other gym bosses. There's groups. There's an in and out group. But the thing is, the in and out groups are like, it's not super serious. You can be friends with your enemies. They're just kind of goofy enemies. It's not like, oh, sports where fucking, like, people at my school would bring a knife to some sports games and shit like that. The most mechanically engaging multiplayer games on Earth, League, Fortnite, CS, are also some of the most tribal, toxic. Competition and team identity are boundary creating forces, not boundary dissolving ones. Okay, but the thing is, we can't just have we have to have boundary creating and boundary dissolving. The real risk is make Pogo, but actually fun, quietly trades away the exact thing that made it feel heavenly. It means the real target is sneakier and better than a more fun Pokemon Go. The unexplored space is huge precisely because Pokemon never built the connection layer. Someone here?
Maybe.
It got millions of people to go to the same spots with shared, non-threatening excuse, then handed them zero tools to cooperate, talk, or bond. Picture the version where the core loop is the connection.
So why is One Piece good?
Because it's like reading a religious text.
But like, nothing happens in it.
I have a note with Claude called character, where I gave it the instructions. I said, hey, I'm gonna give you situations I'm in, okay? I'm gonna explain the situation I'm in, and I'll be like, because there are situations I'm like, bro, I don't know what the fuck to do here. I'm bored, or like maybe I'm not feeling like, you know, being a fucking maniac and like, you know, taking a bunch of risks and doing all that shit, you know, fucking shit up. Do I just leave? I'm overthinking it, you know? So I have a note with Claude where I tell it, I'm gonna give you situations. Tell me what Luffy would do in this situation. That'll clear things up for me. I don't need any other wisdom. If I know what Luffy would do in a situation, I don't need to think. I have total faith that that's the right way to do things. It's like reading a religious text. Luffy is like Jesus or Muhammad. He's based off of them.
Luffy wrote the Quran.
Luffy is who the Quran is about. Okay, so okay, let me speed run through these, all right? So here's the folk I actually want your read on, because everything downstream depends on it. The united mechanism we talked about is cooperative. Us against a shared challenge. The battling and team's instinct is competitive. Us against them. They can coexist, but one has to be the engine and the other the spice. Okay, what the fuck does that mean?
That means one of us has to truck along while the other one adds the flavor in.
Dude, that doesn't...
What do you mean?
That doesn't clear anything up.
What do you... Really?
And if you get it backwards and you build something that feels amazing for the tribe and hostile to everyone else around it... Okay, wait. Oh, if you get it backwards, you build... Okay. Encouraging the corollary. You don't need the whole plan for this. Magic is the function of local density, not global scale. One packed park at dusk can carry it. Issue for me right now is I think the more I think about it, the more expansive the vision gets, the more divergent all the ideas become. And it all becomes vague. You know, the thing that you were saying, which is the problem with being too open and too creative and all that stuff. It becomes a vague, like, apt to be social, and then it gets into work.
Did I say
and
that?
then dating. When we had discussion.
Huh.
Well, bro, you can go through the Dropbox and look. You want me to log you into Adobe?
Yes.
Okay, here. I'm sending you my login. Oh, oops, I forgot to copy that. Adobe. Now you're gonna go on there. If you log in, it'll say, "Oh, what profile do you want to select?" There's a bunch of other profiles because they're all from scammed like accounts. They're all from when I was getting Adobe for like super cheap from a bunch of fucking people who just steal accounts. But just hit personal profile.
Okay.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, wait. So I said the more divergent all these ideas become, the more vague it becomes and have to be social. Then it gets into like work and dating and all this other stuff. It's fun to let the creative bug run wild and be overloaded with possibilities, but I'm having a hard time thinking of what the actual mechanics of this platform or game could actually be. I had an idea that sort of global decentralized fight club once, which I think could be a good idea, but on like the Hunter x Hunter side, because it knows I watched it mentioned that. I also thought that creating a platform that could let people like create missions and bounties, and people could accept those missions, and there's like centers like a isekai anime. It's like safe areas where all the missions are kept, and then like an escrow is handled for all of it. Neither of these ideas are fleshed out, and neither of them really strike me as a brilliant move in this current thing I'm trying to do. I think I could create both to serve different parts of the social environment of humanity, so to target it from different angles, but it feels like there's a missing angle that needs to be less serious than fighting, and missions, and more fun, like a low stakes game, but one that could actually give people the incentive to play while somehow dissolving the social barriers that people have. Are you following me? You understanding everything I'm saying? Okay. Okay, and then Claude is like, "Oh, worth naming the verbs. You want to build all three A's that diverge the problem wearing a disguise. I'll make both to target different angles. The solo builder ends up with 3 half-finished social." Okay, yeah, I don't want to hear all that. That's fucking that hurts to hear. Social products live or die on a single sharp wedge. The good news inside that is that convergence is actually available to you right now, because these aren't 3 products, they're 3 intensity settings of one underlying mechanic. Here's the lens that collapses them. A social game is a catalyst that lowers the activation energy for 2 strangers to interact. 2 strangers, do you understand what that means?
Activation strategy?
Activation energy. That's a physics term.
Okay.
Whatever. Just try your best to follow along. Activation energy is, if you want wood to burn on its own,
you spark it.
You have to spark it first.
It's the igniter. Yeah.
You need activation energy for something else to start burning.
I got it.
So for people to start talking, they're already in the flow, but you need activation energy to even start them.
Right. Pokemon Go is.
So there's a social barrier that requires activation energy to go over. Pokemon Go lowers the activation energy. Here's the lens that collapsed them. A social game is a catalyst that lowers the activation energy for 2 strangers to interact. 2 strangers engaging is a high energy barrier state. The game is the enzyme. Bro, why? I don't want to explain these scientific.
Why did Flappy Bird take off?
I didn't talk to it about that. Luck. Even the guy doesn't know. The game is the enzyme that drops the barrier so the reaction goes spontaneously. Pogo's whole genius was... Are you looking it up?
Why Flappy Bird took off?
Yeah. You don't have to look it up. Just pay attention if you want to. Pogo's whole genius was that the activation energy was nearly 0. You didn't have to speak. Standing near a lure was the entire ask. Now drop your ideas onto that one axis. Fight Club demands enormous social courage, physical, exposing, real risk of humiliation. Missions demand medium. There's a goal, an escrow, something on the line. And the thing you keep reaching for but can't name is a low energy end of the spectrum. And notice why it sprawls into work and dating the moment you let it run. Those are the only two domains that already have a sanctioned permission structure for approaching a stranger. Romance has Tinder, work has LinkedIn. What exists nowhere is permission for platonic, in-person, playful connection for its own sake. I'm gonna highlight that.
Sounds like you said hamna.
It's not because you're unfocused. It's because thanks Claude. It's because the space is genuinely empty. It's also exactly what Pokemon Go filled by accident for one summer. So the target was never an app to be social. It's the missing third permission structure that the other two make obvious by their absence. Which tells you what the light register has to be. The lightest possible pretext is inconsequential play, recess, tag, a 10-second duel with whoever's next to you. The defining trait is that stakes are expressive, not material. You're not winning territory or money. You're just playing the way kids do before the world convinces them they need a reason. I'm gonna just highlight this whole thing actually. You're not winning territory or money, you're just playing the way kids do before the world convinces them that they need a reason. Adults are starved for it and have no container. The game is the container. The hard part, the actual frontier you'd be working on, is making inconsequential play sticky without bolting on consequences that re-raise the stakes and smuggle tribalism back to the door. So it's like an impossible balance that we have to achieve to maintain it. The incentive can't be a prize or you've just rebuilt a competitive game. It almost has to be the connection itself, structured just enough to hold the shape. Picture the meta layer being a collection not of monsters, but of small real moments with strangers, a Pokedex of humans who you got like 30 good seconds, who you've shared 30 good seconds with. So the one discipline constraint I'd hand you to get out of the overwhelm, stop designing the platform and design the atomic unit first, the single smallest exchange between two specific people who've never met, standing 6 feet apart. Get that one interaction to feel good, safe, genuinely fun, at the lowest courage you can engineer. Then the entire platform is just that unit repeated and networked. The Fight Club and Guild Hall all become higher intensity rooms in the same building later. But the front door has to be the lightest thing in the world. Okay. Are you understanding all this?
I'm understanding bits and pieces.
I don't know. Okay, so what I'm thinking of, okay, this is the last thing I said. So what I'm thinking of is a platform that mechanically incentivizes people to go outside and explore the world around them, and then incorporates some kind of inconsequential play where people have to interact in real life with other people they meet, and trying to balance an engaging video game experience with an IRL interaction, because it's not even necessarily that I'm trying to go extreme people leaving the gameplay as empty as possible. If I don't recreate the same magic as Pokemon Go, then I'd be happy to reveal a different kind of magic. Even if the goal is just to let people play socially in a low consequence game. Even if all it does is let them get each other's contacts info to hang out later. My issue I'm having is that I just don't know what exactly the game or mechanics should be. I've thought about it for a few months. I thought maybe something like an augmented reality chess type of game would be a good idea, but I feel like people would get too invested in the screen since people take that game seriously. I think the mechanics of a collection style game like Pokemon fits the mold perfectly, but honestly, I've never actually played through a Pokemon game. I tried to play Pokemon Emerald, but it was a slog for me and I couldn't get through it.
That's because you only used one Pokemon.
No, I didn't. I had like 20 Pokemon. It was just boring.
No, you only used one though.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I remember I opened your thing and your thing was like, oh, 52 and your little
Right,
level
yeah. I did
12.
upgrade one a lot.
No, you only upgraded that one.
The Emerald thing is the most.
But also, if you had played through the whole game, you wouldn't have beat it.
You found mainline Pokemon's loop a slog. You found Pogo's loop boring after a few catches. When you say collection mechanics fit this mold perfectly, that's borrowed reverence. You're designing around a template you never once have personally enjoyed. Solo founders only survive building things they'd use themselves. Okay. This is why I don't want to do it as a solo project. I want to have more people. I don't want to talk to Claude about this. I want to have 5 people where we're all bouncing ideas off each other. It's rather than talking to Claude, because Claude just gives the answers. It's no fun trying to brainstorm working through a difficult problem like this, like a philosophical problem, really, with a thing that already knows the answer. Call up your guy.
He's in China.
For how long?
Till August.
Well, then tell him, okay, I want to check this off the list. You'll handle this, you got this. When he comes back, you'll hit him up. Okay, cool. Because I'm removing that from my mental checklist now.
Yeah, it's on my mental checklist.
No, you got to put it on a real checklist.
Yeah.
Not a
No,
mental.
I already hit him up, and then my messages didn't go, and I'm like, oh, he's in China.
Okay. So you have something that'll remind you?
Yeah, I talked to him.
Okay. How come you didn't update me? You got to update me.
Well, I forgot, because then we started doing something else. Or, I don't remember. There was a thing where we didn't link for a week or two.
You got to text me. Or Discord.
I thought I did.
You texted me, hey, the guy's in China?
No, I thought that came up. Because I remember I'm like, oh, I got to tell Fraz this.
Just text me right there. A collection game built by someone bored by collecting will come out embalmed. So demote collection from core gameplay to memory layer. Thing you need to collect is the people in the moments. To a desirable chess inputs an existing skill hierarchy. Activation energy through the roof. Instant intimidation. Instant status. It's a closed 2-player attention sync. The rule is the other person must be the content. Any mechanic where you could swap a stranger for a bot without losing much is automatically wrong. Open on strange. Okay, cool. I got it. All right, I'm about to head out.
Frog, you should hit the gym. Because you've never worked out high, right?
No, I'm not high.
Oh. You know what you should do one day?
What?
After, like, if you work out, like, a lot of days in a row, and you're just, like, really fucking sore, and, like, you do a bunch of shit, you should, like, get high and go to the gym and just have, like, a wicked stretch sesh.
Yeah, we already talked about this.
But why didn't you fucking do it?
Because
You feel every muscle in your body,
I know.
everyone in your back open up.
bro, whenever we geek up and go to wherever, I'm always trying to fucking do lunges and stretches and shit like that.
No. Like, I'm talking.
I do that anyways.
No, I'm talking the only thing you do is just stretch.
I know.
Like, you get the stick, you stretch, you hang, you like.
No, but that's an organic experience. I'm not going there to intentionally do that. Whatever happens, happens.
Oh, I did that once.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Weird. Bro, you've mentioned the same story like 30 times.
I don't remember these things.
Oh. Throw these away. Are you gonna eat these?
No, they're so
I'm not gonna
bad,
eat them.
bro. Those are so hard.
Throw these away.
I got you.
I'm leaving this here. Did you eat that Warheads thing?
Nope.
Did you open it?
I think I barely opened it.
Damn. Then I think it's gone bad, maybe, right?
Probably not. Maybe. It's not opened a lot. It's only been like 3 or 4 days.
Has it? It feels like it's been a week.
Chomp it.
It's hard.
How do you know it wasn't already hard?
I mean, this one's nowhere near as sour as the other one.
Alright, my frog. Let me escort you to the door like a gentleman.
Are you an escort?